Man, what a day at the PGA. Everybody watching? We excited for tomorrow? I'm not doing too bad. How about you guys? I had Phil make the cut. Rory's still in the mix. Brooksy. Um, yeah, Ricky and Day. I took a shot. What are you gonna do? Tomorrow should be fun to watch. I don't know if they have sub air or not at Oak Hill, but man, can they take some water. It rained all day today, and you couldn't even see it on those greens. It was like it was perfect. It was like tour conditions. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it dries out tomorrow. I'd love to say I'm sticking with Rory, but I don't think anyone's catching Brooks. He's just so solid. He reminds me of Tiger. He really does. The way he plays, he plots his way around. You're never going to see him go out and shoot 62 to win on Sunday, but 66, 68, 67, he's always right there in the mix. I think he's gonna hang on and get the W tomorrow. I'm just glad the story has been about golf. With Brooks and DeChambeau in the mix. I was a little worried you might hear some cheap shots and stuff about Liv, but it's been for the most part about golf, and it's been awesome. The Saudi government talk and the Liv golf talk has kind of been at a minimal. Speaking of stories, you can't talk stories without the one that sparked this rant. The club pro. A few haters on Twitter telling him to leave the crowd behind the ropes and just kind of play golf, but live your best life, dude. Have fun. Uh, Fist bump, yell, scream, love it. Love it. Have fun. Do what you do. I mentioned the haters in a comment on Facebook, and then another hater chimed in with the hoodie conversation. Come on, man. That's such an old man golf take. We gotta evolve. It's fashion. Things evolve. Things look different. Things act different. When I was growing up, hip hop was underground. When I started listening to Black Sheep and EPMD, and Keith Murray, and Third Base, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. God, I could go forever. But when I started listening to them, they didn't sound anything like hip hop sounds today. They weren't on the radio. They weren't pop. It wasn't until like the mid '90s with Jay-Z and all them where they kind of started talking about the party and life became hip hop. It's evolved. The point that I'm making is, do I like Travis Scott and Migos and the new rappers now as much as I like EPMD and Jay-Z? Of course not. But I still like them. It doesn't mean they're shit. Same thing with the hoodie argument. As long as it's clean, I mean, this is a FootJoy hoodie. It's Argyle. It's got the golf logo that matches my hat. If you don't think this is clean with a pair of slacks and a nice pair of shoes that match, you're crazy. I mean, I've seen some of the outfits you wear. Um, Again, there's things to hate on, there's things not to hate on. The hoodie conversation, it's not worth getting into it because you're never going to win. You got to do something for these young guys to enjoy the game, and if that means they're going to wear a hoodie, who cares, right? And if every company, Polo, Grayson, FootJoy, Puma, Peter Millar, everybody's doing it, why are you hating on it? Come on, there's a vine to die on, and there's not a vine to die on. And hoodies and fashion probably isn't one of them. You're probably the one that's complaining about the female golfer at your club skirt being too short. I mean, now it's getting crazy. You got these girls, they're athletic. They want to show off their legs. They want to get tan. You see them now, they're all tucking their skirts into the shorts. And that way, in case if anybody says, oh, your skirt's too short, they can just pull it out. But why should they have to? Come on. Golf is evolving. Fashion has to come with it. Every company in the game has been, upgrading their fashion. Even new companies. We got Avondroff Golf, one of the companies I've talked about a few times on the podcast. She's great. She's a PGA professional. This is her week. She couldn't find a pair of pants that she liked, so she decided to make her own. And they happen to be joggers. Is that next? Oh, we're going to say no joggers on the golf course? There's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. Look at country, for example. You couldn't pay me to listen to country back in the day. It's evolved. They've listened, the younger artists have listened to hip hop and pop growing up, and it's influencing their music. And now some of the crossovers I listen to, if Nelly and Florida Country Line come on the radio, I'm turning it up and rocking out with it. But it doesn't mean I expect Jay-Z to come out with a country album next week. It evolves. You evolve. Our tastes evolve. So to die on a vine like that, it's not worth it. And what it does is it steals your credibility. The Angry Marine was on a couple weeks ago. We had a great discussion about Donald Ross and old school golf and what golf is supposed to be like with firm and fast, and how we're talking about all the new renovations. We're talking about tree removals and how much more open space is wanted to be used. That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to hear about. We don't want to be talking about hoodies and bowls of chowder. It just, pick your battles. That's my only point. And then when somebody's showing you pictures and proving to you that it's clearly become commonplace in the game and everybody was wearing it on Thursday and Friday mornings, and then you keep doubling down and saying, "Oh, I didn't see it. Show me pictures." Dude, you just, all you do is make people roll their eyes anytime you speak. The thing that aggravates me is I get lumped in as a complainer and I get labeled a complainer. I complained about one thing, the greens. And if you weren't complaining about them, you have no business being in leadership at a private club. I'm sorry. To hear 30-year members just trash the place left and right, but they're too afraid of a bully to say it out loud is frustrating. So again, I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and take it online and listen to you chirp, 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 chirp. And then, all right, I told you it was coming. I told you stop. You're wrong or you're going to be a target. Well, guess what? Now we got a rant about the Angry Marine. It's just, the difference is when I'm in the golf business, guys like you drove me out. I couldn't just look at you and say, "You're wrong, shut the fuck up." Well, I'm not in the golf business anymore. So, dude, you're wrong. Just don't die on a vine. Don't argue. You make yourself look like you're just arguing to play the other side. And that's the guy that nobody listens to. If you have a battle and you have a valid point, pick your battles. Everybody says, "Oh, well, why don't you drop things?" Well, I do. When I realize that I'm wrong, or if I think there's even a chance I might be wrong, I usually drop the argument. If I'm going ranting on something, you better believe I've done my research, I have the education, and I have the knowledge to handle it. So again, I don't want to go on a rant tonight. This is all about the PGA. I love it. Let's play some golf tomorrow. Let's lay off the club pro living his best life. And let's cheer for him and Rory to go nuts and feed off each other in the crowd tomorrow. And hopefully the Celtics turn it around as well. So until next time, guys, let's go.